Since it's the 100th anniversary of the First World War, and we're going to be talking about that today, what's your favorite historical war?
War of 1812 would have been pretty cool because it happened here. So obviously there's not a lot of big cities. Guys are murking folks.
It's guerrilla war.
It's guerrilla war, and guys are just running through fields, killing each other.
It's Che Guevara shit.
And it's real good shit because it's nice down here. The Niagara Escarpment. The Niagara Escarpment was home to a war. I would love to fight in the Niagara Escarpment.
I'm from Hamilton. I have fought on the Niagara Escarpment.
Yeah. Probably got his ass kicked in the Niagara Escarpment. It's like 8 girls just plowing him.
That sounds like in no way could it not be sexual. All right, James, what's your favorite war?
Well, as much as I like, 1812, that was awesome. I'd like to be there for the burning of the White House. That'd be cool if I was an American to see that.
Some men just want to see the world burn, James.
Yeah, I'm one of those men. Does that make me a bad person to see the world burn, or at least want that to happen?
No. It makes you sick.
But anyway, one of my favorite wars that no one really talks about is the 7 Years' War, which I would hazard to guess the First World War, because it was between England and France, and all their colonies all over the world were fighting each other.
Yes.
And then all the colonies fighting each other caused England and France to fight each other. So this caused this whole insane war that happened.
My favorite war is Genghis Khan's life, because that was just he was like the Russell Crowe of the 1400s. Yeah. He was born and he fucking fought folks, and then one day he died, and that's the story. And he was born in a tent. He conquered basically the entire world. He accumulated more wealth than any person who's ever lived. Did nothing with it, just gave it away, and then he died in a tent. So welcome everybody back to Circle Jerks 11. I'm here as always with our volunteer producer James Stacy, and I'm also joined here as always by Brent Williams. How's it going, Brent?
Get out.
We have a show here for you today.
Somewhere we will find a show.
It's gonna be a show. That's all I'll say. And we're gonna talk about a couple things. First of all, we're gonna talk about prostitution, particularly an experience I had. I know that when I say that, you think that I had sex with a prostitute.
The foreshadow, the cliffhanger.
You're thinking I had sex with a prostitute, and I'm not going to deny that. You're just going to have to wait and see. After we talk about prostitution, we're going to talk about human remains.
Wow.
See, I like to. I'm really feeling the cliffhangers because that's how you get people. This is to get you invested.
Prostitutes and dead bodies.
Not necessarily mutually exclusive, in my experience. And then finally, we're going to talk about, because it's the 100th anniversary, as I mentioned, of World War I, we're going to talk about our favorite and fondest memories of the war to end all wars. And Brent's going to play.
Dark show.
Yeah, this is pretty dark, huh?
It's dark.
When has it ever been light, right? It's always darkest before you slit your wrists. And during the World War I segment, to cap it off, we're going to have Brent play a special game called The Price Is Reich. So please stay tuned.
Stay for the puns.
Come for the puns. Stay for the puns.
Leave for the memories.
All right. Well, so anyway, I guess we might as well get started. So I'll tell you what happened to me the other night. I was walking in scenic downtown Barrie, minding my own business, and there was a woman standing outside of the Hawk Shop. And I was walking by, and I just kind of nodded at her politely because, if you don't do that, people think you're a psycho. Yeah, so I, you nod. And she goes, "Hey, baby, you want a date?" And I realized that I had just been solicited by a prostitute. And that's, I can speak to this, and I can honestly say that has never happened before. It's usually me soliciting them. So I wanted to solicit your opinions on prostitution. Seeing as that's also kind of a topical thing that's going on right now in Canada.
I don't understand. People like sex. People have money. I don't understand why they can't use their money to purchase sex.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot worse things you can do. Most prostitutes are safe about it, too.
Well, you always use protection, right?
Like 81% of the time.
Well, I think it's a civil liberty people should have. Like, why the fuck not? Who's it harming? I mean, I understand that it can...
It's harming the women. That's the whole...
Well, I understand that people can fall into the career. They don't have to do it, but they can fall into the career and then just get attached to some pimp, and the pimp owns them. But if they just made it completely legal and then had it organized as some sort of
office,
like a process,
office of whores.
Yeah, just registry more or less. Just get a license.
Like a government-owned rub and tug.
No, they'd be privatized. The government would just make sure it was going down the way it should.
I know. Just put Dalton McGuinty in charge of that. He needs something to do these days.
Yeah, he does.
It's better than busting people for advertising prostitution.
I just couldn't help but feel bad for the woman. I almost, if I had had the money on me, I would have actually paid her to not have sex with me, because I just got the vibe that like she's standing out there all alone and like.
Well,
I was like, "Where's the
hawk
pimp?
shop?
Where's the guy?" Yeah, in front of the hawk shop. She's probably she's there trying to like get her toaster back in the morning. I don't know, but I was like, "Where's the pimp? Where's the guy in the fur coat who's down there? What if I were to just say yes and then not pay her or something? Like, what if where's
He's waiting for you somewhere.
maybe I'm misconstruing this whole thing and she actually did want to go on a date with me. Like,
who
let's go
knows?
for a walk.
I don't know if that's a path you want to go down though. Like, is that a risk you want to take? Like, where are you gonna go? Mini golf? You're gonna end up in the back of some guy's truck in a bag. Is really how that works.
Well, and we've all been there and we all know how it ends, right? You just got to be ready once he opens that trunk.
Mm.
You got to be ready to rumble. And that's, unfortunately, our government keeps dancing around with the issue, doesn't want to actually address it. But I think that it should be allowed because, I mean, yeah, it hurts women, but it hurts them even more that they're being controlled by, Mr. Dingo, who's wearing the leather suit he got at Value Village.
Yeah, it would make more sense if these prostitutes had a boss.
Motherfuckers
Who-
never loved them.
Fucking follow the rules.
To quote The Wire, as we often do on this show, what they need is a union. But you raised an interesting point when we were talking about this earlier, Brent, which is you were confused about the difference between porn and prostitution.
Oh, I know the difference.
So you do understand when you
Illegal.
watch porn that those things aren't happening to you, right?
No, they're not happening to me.
It took me a long time to figure that out. It was really disappointing. It was devastating.
Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying I woke up one day and realized I was a 24-year-old virgin. But anyway,
Yikes. That's on the radio.
but you were saying about why is porn legal but prostitution?
Oh, yeah. So it's prostitution's illegal, but if you put a camera in the room, it becomes pornography.
Well, that's the whole discussion they're having actually
Paying
in
a
court.
woman to have sex on camera.
No. But see, you're not thinking like a lawyer, Brent, because you're not paying the woman for the sex. She's consenting to the sex
Oh,
independently.
it's an art.
No, you're paying her for the right to videotape the sex which she is consenting to and then distribute it. That's how you think like a lawyer. That's lawyer thinking. Don't worry about that though.
Well, that's what they're discussing with the fucking the law right now, right? They don't. That's exactly why there's a problem. Because they haven't defined what paid sex is. Like, in the current discussion of
Well, they
Canada's
should bring
legalities.
me in. I'll define. I'll gladly define. it.
I'm an expert on paid
Well, yeah,
sex.
it seems pretty simple, but it's like that's what lawyers do. They play lawyer ball with this fucking kind of shit.
Oh, there never was a man who didn't pay for sex, one way or the other.
They're going to get you. They're going to get you one way.
Anyway, I think that's all that we need to say really about that. Other than the fact that, spoiler alert, I did not have sex with a prostitute. I just walked away like a really awkward white guy, and then she kind of followed me, but at a distance.
So you didn't say anything to her?
I said, ha ha, no, I'm good. And that's literally what it sounded like, because I was so taken aback by actually being offered sex for once.
Well, it's not the first time.
But
No,
it
of
felt like
course
the
not.
first time, didn't it?
It feels like the first time every time, James. So anyway, today at the Blue Jays game, there was an interesting development. Apparently, someone took it upon themselves between innings to take to the field to do something that nobody's ever done before, I don't think, and that is to dump what appeared to be human ashes onto the field.
That's badass.
That is pretty badass.
What kind of significance does it carry? What the hell does that mean?
Well, it just made me think about.
Where do we want to put Dad's ashes?
I think it was
he
some-
was a big Jays fan. Or Grandpa's ashes. We'll get kicked out for it. What? It's like $20 to go to a Jays
No,
game.
but hear me out. I can imagine that being a vindictive thing. What if the guy hated baseball? Like, oh, fuck you, Grandpa.
See,
You can go fuck on a
that's
baseball
just
field.
You just being like a weird fuck.
He's got to think outside the box, you know?
I've got a couple follow-up questions. First of all, how did they sneak the ashes in? And second of all, if they didn't sneak the ashes in, would Grandpa have to pay admission?
They're just
Yeah, where's Grandpa's ticket?
How would they like stage that as a person? Like, here, you can draw a face on him or something, like on the jar. Like, what the fuck?
So I think there might be some questions asked of the security personnel, but it just made me think: how would you like your body to be disposed of, assuming that you're not murdered and chopped up and put in the walls? Which is, I mean, that's my assumption. But if you luck out and don't get that, what kind of treatment would
That's
you like?
daft, man. That's daft and macabre.
Who got this guy the fucking word of the day? I swear to God, you're gonna lose your word of the day privileges.
I've been playing Mad Gabs.
Give
Just
me that,
kidding.
Give me that damn thesaurus.
Remember Mad Gabs? Not Mad Gabs. Mad Libs.
No, shut the fuck up and tell me how you want to be buried.
I'm
or
not. I'll be
disposed of.
cremated.
You want to be cremated?
Yeah. Over like a cliff or in a lake or something. Or down the toilet. I don't know.
Right? What about you,
I
James?
probably belong in the sewer. So
With the rest of the turds.
I wouldn't really care, but I want to be dropped off, from an airplane though, spread across, like.
Do you want them to spell something specific with your ashes?
Yeah. I want them to put it in some sort of like a chemical tank and
I was
draw.
gay the entire time.
If you do that,
Take that, Mom.
James's final flame of glory. No pun intended. Just
if that was my message, I'd pick something more like eloquent than that.
That's hilarious.
I want to be buried, full body, and then have a tree planted on top of me. And I'm going to leave my estate to pay a guard to stand watch over the tree. And if anyone takes any of the fruit off the tree, I want him to shoot them and bury them also beneath the tree.
So there's some wow, that's something.
Well, but it's creating life, you know, and death. I am the god of life and death.
I guess that is a contribution of sorts. Yeah, I guess one could say.
Well, it's better than anything I've done in life.
Yeah, it gives your pathetic, sordid existence some sort of meaning. It's great.
Calling folks out.
Oh,
I think
God.
we can all relate to this.
James, you are like an unlikable Don Rickles. Anyway, speaking of dead bodies, and we were speaking of Don Rickles, the last subject of conversation for today, we saved the best for last, is the First World War. This is a special feature. We usually do things that were cool 5 years ago. In this case, we're doing things that were cool 100 years ago. And nothing was cooler in 1914 than World War I. All the cool kids were doing it.
WWI, the prequel to the sequel.
Well, the World War franchise is one of the few where the sequel is actually better than the original.
Yeah.
It has a much better villain.
Like Austin Powers.
For sure. Or The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But it's not the anniversary of World War II. None of us are going to live to see that. So we're going to talk about World War I. Specifically, researching this, you realize how many elaborate contraptions were involved in World War I that were completely futile. Do you have a favorite?
The Ross rifle. Well, it's not my favorite, but it's hilarious. So here's some guns, guys. Oh, these are pretty cool. Pew! Doesn't shoot for shit. All right, whatever. It's better than nothing, right? Wow, it's really rainy here in Belgium. Pff, oh, I dropped my rifle. Pff, no, now it doesn't work. Oh, I just got shot 8 times. Did you guys test it for mud? We did not. Why not? I don't have the information available for the tests because it's 1915. We don't do tests. Here's your fucking guns. And that was basically World War I in a nutshell. Just go.
Here,
well,
we've got all this new stuff. Has it been tested? No, just try it. Just go with it.
It's probably going to kill some people.
This is an improv war.
It's going to kill some folks. Probably some of our guys. Who knows?
Some of them worked out really well. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite, James?
Favorite in terms of like a failure or success?
Just a favorite, like, because there's so many gadgets. Like favorite, like.
I'll give my favorite failure, my favorite success. My favorite success was gas warfare.
It's hard to say.
He's really tearing up over there.
I mean, it was horrifying for everyone involved. I'm just saying, in terms of technology, it was a huge success for both because it was so effective, right? It was really useful for both sides.
Yeah, it killed everything.
But flamethrowers were
until the wind changed. Then it was really stupid.
Well, yeah, exactly. They had to watch what the fuck you were doing, you know. But flamethrowers, I think, were just stupid in general in that war because there's no way you're going to get close to the enemy with this fucking huge tank on your back and get over there. I mean, gas warfare you could kind of spread. It was more of a proximal weapon, you know. Flamethrowers in World War I, in the middle of mud, in the middle of trenches, when everything is being shot at each other constantly the whole time, you're going to go out there and not explode. How the hell does that happen? You're going to definitely explode.
Yeah, take this giant backpack full of napalm and run towards that nest of machine guns.
Just hope for the best.
Run, Sammy, run. You can do it.
We're going to be praying for you.
Meanwhile, me and the general are going to go take a nap and tug each other off.
Just the worst. Okay, new plan. What were you saying? Dodge the bullets?
Oh, Vimy Ridge, yeah. Like
Yeah.
this, the only plan that tended to work was Vimy Ridge's plan of actually just, going around the bullets and having some sort of...
That's what we were doing wrong the entire time. I forgot that I could see around the bullets and move.
I love the rolling barrage, because at first it was just, let's charge. And then they were like, oh, wait a minute. What if we fired with our artillery and then charged? Yeah, that's genius. You're a fucking genius, man. You're going to be somebody till you get shot through the head in 10 minutes. Oh, who would have thought that if you fired before you charged, that might produce effect? That's some high-level strategic conversation that's going on.
Like, it's I can't believe those were actually innovative plans. That's insane.
Or how about this? Let's just dig a hole and we'll stare at each other, and then first one who blinks loses. Fucking idiots. My favorite World War I gadget out of the whole sort of gallery of steampunk porn that is World War I is the Zeppelin. It's the most comically inept...
Oh, the humanity.
The most comically inept weapon you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, like you have to be driving it to the Benny Hill theme. If you are driving a Zeppelin, the Benny Hill theme has to be playing throughout the entire, what is actually a balloon. They'll never, and it's so conspicuous too. Oh, nobody's going to see it.
And you have to drive it wearing lederhosen. There's just no two ways. That's non-negotiable.
Imagine defending against the Zeppelin. Why don't we shoot at it? Well, I won't do anything. Well, let's just try it.
That was the thing, though, is that...
What the fuck did we just do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, also it's filled with... It's an enormous balloon full of hydrogen, so you shoot it one time and it blows to shit.
They explode real quick.
But it actually did take some time for them to realize this. And the funniest part is that it actually scared the living shit out of people. Even though it was... basically, literally, they had guys throwing bombs, like, out of... I think I read they had, like, 50 bombs on one of them, and that was, like, a big deal. Probably, like the Acme bombs that, like, Wile E. Coyote uses.
Yeah, the little where they're banging on it to test them.
Dud,
yeah.
Just dropping them on, like, farms and stuff. I think in all, there were more than 50 Zeppelin attacks, and in total...
Oh no, we've got about 5 minutes to react to the fucking balloon floating over here.
It's blowing toward us like a butterfly.
The wind, once again, the wind changes. That fucks the entire plan up, doesn't it? At the same time as the gas. So the guys are getting gassed inside the Zeppelin.
You can't really be stealthy, can you?
Welcome to World War I innovation.
They had 50 attacks with Zeppelins. In all, they killed 500 people. That is wildly inept.
That's 10. That's 10 guys. That's 10 guys a trip. Oh, this seems like a lot of work to kill a group of guys.
Basically, to kill a football team. How many $1 million did we spend on this?
Like
we're all gonna die screaming.
And how many of those Zeppelin attacks didn't end well for the offensive? Like how many of those...
once they figured out that all you have to do is shoot at it, you're gonna die in a fire.
You don't make it back. You don't make it. That's a suicide mission. You don't make it back to headquarters with the Zeppelin. You're sending the Zeppelin in because it probably doesn't have a reverse. It just blows until it's fucking gone.
Oh shit, it looks like we're going to Iceland.
Oh, God damn it, Scotty. Why didn't you tell us about the mountain we're about to hit?
At a comically slow yet fatal speed.
Guys are jumping out.
In their lederhosen.
Yeah, like, where's the strategy?
Because they forgot to dump the bombs.
That was the whole air warfare in World War I. Because the planes, first of all, they had like 20 of them, and they could barely fly. It's basically a kite with a handgun, just like pray and spray, like So ludicrously expensive and wildly incompetent. And don't get me started about the tanks. The tanks are hilarious too because they go about. You can literally walk faster than these things.
Yeah, and once again, not going through the mud.
Yeah.
A lot of them got stuck. Like a lot.
Innovative, but still.
Then what's the point of the tank?
They used it as like infantry cover and also to scare the shit out of people.
Yeah.
So the infantry would come behind the tank. The only problem is the tank's going about 5 kilometers an hour. It's going at about walking speed.
Yep.
So, and there's one guy inside with a slingshot who's like, I'm so fucked. I like to think that if we were in that kind of a situation, we'd be the guys who hang out in the back and pretend we don't run that fast and just hope that by the time we get there, they're all dead.
Then I'd be the guy that plays dead.
I'd grab a body and like hide under it.
Grab some blood from your buddy over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not using it.
He's
Dab it a little bit on your face, on your stomach, and just lie there. Just hope not to get stepped on.
There you
You're probably
go.
going to get stepped on, but
That's a World War I hack.
that is a World War I hack. That I would totally do that in the First World War. I'm obviously running towards the fucking gunshots hasn't worked before. Can you imagine if World War I was televised? Like the
Parts
whole,
of it.
like they'd have to turn it off. They'd just be like, okay, the sheer redundancy would just drive you insane. So why don't they just stop? Why do they keep going?
Now coming over the top, 18 to 24-year-olds from Barrie, Ontario. Let's
see how they fare. Let's see how they fare. Oh, there's like 5 gone. Oh, they shoot back and they miss. He got shot in the leg, got blown clean off. There's his leg about 8 feet back. That was a great shot, right in the kneecap. Oh, and there's his other leg. Well, when he's hobbling along like that, he's a pretty easy target to hit, and we're going to get a replay on that.
Well, that's the thing they teach you day one of boot camp, Brent. You don't want to be a hobbler.
No.
Those guys go real quick. I think, does anybody have anything else they'd like to say about World War I?
No.
Well, now we're going to move on to our final segment. I thought we'd close this out with something a little bit light, so we're going to play a special game. This is a game for Brent Williams, and it's called The Price Is Reich. So what I have here are some quotes from, some of them are from Kaiser Wilhelm II, the truly deeply inspirational German leader in the First World War. And some of the other ones are from Mustache Guy, a.k.a. Adolf Hitler. So I'm going to read out a quote, and you're going to have to tell me whether you think it's the Kaiser or Hitler. And you will win a special prize.
Why didn't Hitler get his own bun? At least give the guy a bun. The Hitler roll. The Kaiser got one. Why can't the Roland Fuhrer? All right, go.
Fuck, eh? Right. All right, okay, first quote. Quote, "You have sworn loyalty to me. You have only one enemy, and that is my enemy." End quote.
That sounds Kaiser.
Yes, that is the Kaiser Wilhelm. Okay. Quote, "Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited." End quote.
That's got Hitler all over it.
That's Kaiser Wilhelm.
Oh, another Kaiser.
Okay.
James is barely holding on over there.
Quote, "I, for my part, acknowledge another precept which says that man must deal the final blow to those whose downfall is destined by God."
Oh, well, that's the poet himself, Mr. Adolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The jazz musician of propaganda.
Yeah.
All right. One more. "God the Almighty has made our nation. By defending its existence, we are defending his work."
Hitler.
Nails it. That is Hitler.
3 for 4.
That is Hitler. Woo! Well done. You really couldn't ask anyone to do any better than that.
Well, you could get 4 out of 4.
That seems obvious, Robbie.
Well, you could, or you could get 5 out of 4.
It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe.
Well, thank you for playing The Price Is Reich. Help control the Bolshevik Jew population. Have your Bolshevik Jews spayed or neutered.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Well, there you go. So, what did you learn today? Are you glad you didn't have to go fight in World War I? Are you glad about that?
Well, is this the alternative?
Yes, the alternative is fighting for nothing your entire life. Fighting against the void.
Yeah, thanks for allowing us to be able to do this.
What did you learn today, James? Did you learn anything?
I learned that we're all spoiled fucks.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly accurate assessment.
Yeah, peace was already earned. We're just reaping it.
We don't even have peace.
Well, yeah. Well,
The place is so miserable.
Well, we have peace here.
Well, there's peace. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we're not
Peace.
shooting at each other, but we're not nice to each other.
Well, yeah. That's all you have to be. It's
It's
just
just peaceful around here.
peace is just not war. You know.
I guess.
That's all. That's my definition.
Maybe we haven't learned anything at all. And maybe that's
we're
the
even
point.
worse.
And maybe that is the point, Robbie. You're right.
And maybe what we learned today is that we are not capable of ever learning anything. And also that Zeppelins can be a really good time.
Let's go buy a Zeppelin.
Let's go buy Benny Hill on DVD. Well, thank you on behalf of producer James Stacy, Brent Williams, a.k.a. the Red Baron.
That's it. Look it up. Look it up.
I'm Robbie Woods. Thank you for listening to Circle Jerks. And I hope that whatever wars you're fighting in your own life, I hope you don't get sent over the top. God bless.